Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're coming back after that quick break, heading into Game 2 here between Golden Guardians Academy and FlyQuest Academy. Golden Guardians taking Game 1 in a pretty commanding fashion, if I might say so myself, Smacks.
Yeah, I was really impressed by Golden Guardians' just ferocity in the mid game. Now, this is the example of the picks that they went for going wrong, but this is the only example of that one, as we are going to be watching the rest of these replays for Golden Guardians. We do get to see this game open up very well for FlyQuest. They had an excellent response to this first play the Golden Guardians did attempt, but after that, it felt like FlyQuest were sort of just waiting for the next play, waiting for the next thing the Golden Guardians were doing, and that gives over so much priority for Golden Guardians and so much just decision-making and agency for them, and it leads to plays like this, where you get to see all the globals the Golden Guardians have be put to great use. We're seeing specifically Newbie, I think, pop off super hard. Watch these tempered fates and all these replays. This is only the beginning.
It's just so beautifully done by Newbie the entire game, and the rest of Golden Guardians Academy being able to capitalize with their global ultimates throughout this entire first game of the series here. We see in this team fight, they get split up here. It's not so much team fights that we have going on here from the side of Golden Guardians Academy, but more of a series of picks, sometimes closer to each other in time than others, as you get stuns there, and just like that, you have the Pantheon ultimate that follows up quickly afterwards, Destiny coming in as well in order to make a pick onto NXI, and it's never quite a full-on brawl 5-on-5 style of composition here or any kind of team fight setup. Instead, it's just multiple 1v1s or 1v2s happening at once, and Golden Guardians Academy always coming out on top due to just how much pressure the team is able to apply.
I think it's just such a great strategy for them, because you look at what this composition provides, it's a lot of single target crowd control and not a whole lot of AoE outside of that one pick tool for Newbie's Bard. But realistically, you are wanting to just kill one person at a time, and the way that they set up for these team fights, the way that they set up vision traps and moments where FlyQuest feel pressured to do something, it just worked out so well for them. And we see this is the last fight of the game. Dreams even had a really nice flank play for Rakan. If his team wasn't already falling apart by the time he got there, then it would have been really solid quickness play for him. But Golden Guardian is just so fast on the trigger. They just find these stuns with things like that gold card, like the Pantheon stun, and it works out really well. I loved this strategy from Golden Guardians in Game 1.
So that begs the question now to ask here, Smacks, what is it that FlyQuest can be looking to do coming into the second game of this series here in order to keep their proving ground dreams alive? We were kind of talking a bit about off camera here, and really what I need to be seeing from them is a little bit more proactive in the early game, especially if you're going to be putting NXI on this Nidalee, which is an early game champion. I think their draft was fine. I just think that where they decided to put their priority and where they put their pressure throughout their early game, it got them a couple of, repercussion kills throughout the early stages by punishing that gank on the top side of the map or around the mid lane as well, but they didn't really make anything happen for themselves.
Yeah, part of it is that they did pick this Camille Nidalee to try to bully out Niles in that top lane, but Golden Guardians was really prepared for this one with the Pantheon, as he was able to block out all of this damage with his E and survive these ganks all of the time. So I think now that FlyQuest are on the red side, they will probably have an easier time avoiding those really disastrous situations where they can't gank that top lane anymore thanks to a really nice counter pick.
Well, for FlyQuest Academy, if they want to keep their playoff, or they want to keep their proving ground dreams alive here, they are going to have to pull out something here in Game 2. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to throw it over to a quick 2-minute break before we hop into Champion Select, so do not go anywhere. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We're back on game 2 here between Golden Guardians Academy and FlyQuest Academy. Hopping straight into pick and bans here already. Golden Guardians taking off that Jinza off the table, trying to get this one going, trying to get this one rolling after they had such a successful game 1 to this best of 3 series.
And I think, as a reminder, FlyQuest did pick to be on that red side. And for those of you who are fans of Proving Grounds as a whole, you might be scratching your head like, what the heck? I thought these teams would pick blue every single game. If you remember, in the spring of Proving Grounds, the blue side was really, really strong, and it was the biggest tool that a team like NoOrg used to win the entire thing. But for FlyQuest, they really do not want to have to deal with a 5th pick counter pick for Niles on red side anymore, because their entire game plan seemed to revolve around getting Philip ahead and outside of that lane as soon as possible on this Camille. And you can't really reliably do that when Niles is going to save counter pick for last. So I think this is a great strategy for FlyQuest, and as long as they ban this gangplank for Niles, they don't have to worry too much about having to deal with his abusive power in that lane.
Golden Guardians, on the other hand, they do seem a little bit worried about the jungler and NXI from FlyQuest Academy opting to ban away the Xin Zhao and the Lee Sin early. See the face you made, Smacks, because I have the same questions too here. That Twisted Fate getting banned away means that the Gangplank is up and available for Niles, who's already looking to lock that one in. He's been known for this champion. He just shows up day after day whenever he gets his hand on the Pirate in the top lane, but instead, it's going to be a flex away back towards this Trundle. We saw it in the jungle last game. It is that flex pick still here from the Golden Guardians Academy if they wanted to play in the support role instead. But with that being said, it is already so much pressure here onto the jungler pool for the side of FlyQuest Academy.
I think the hover there for Niles is just letting him know, like, hey, you forgot something, didn't you? I bet you're thinking that you want to ban that Gangplank now, don't you? But doesn't actually lock it in quite yet. I do like that priority on the Trundle, as you said. And for FlyQuest, they're keeping the same priority for Dreams on this Rakan as well. Very valuable pick when it comes to those team fights, and we did see some solid plays from him. But it's hard to do a whole lot as this Rakan when your entire team is in stasis. You can't use that battle dance to dash between everyone anymore, and that's just such a tricky matchup to traverse if you are this Rakan. So he's going to be locking it again, trying to get a better matchup this time. And for NXI, he's done playing around with the Nidalee. He's going straight for Graves.
That's a little bit more of a scaling pick that I like to see in the hands of NXI here for the side of FlyQuest Academy as well. Something that is going to be able to farm up. I'm curious to see whether or not this Graves stays in the jungle or if it moves into the mid lane. I do know that Graves mid has been nerfed in that 11.17 patch, but it's something that is really kind of taken over in a lot of the higher elo and pro games, is the ability to just wave clear out mid using that Q, as well as the amount of pressure and trading potential you have. So it's a questionable flex pick, but a potential flex pick for sure. But with the LeBlanc getting locked in here for FlyQuest Academy, that all but answers our questions here. It will be the NXI Graves jungle special with that LeBlanc in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Ziggs and Aurelia, a couple of other heavily prioritized picks here going over to the hands of Golden Guards Academy.
The reason those picks go over is because FlyQuest are bullying out Yunbi in this draft. They've taken away 3 of his champions, and they've locked in LeBlanc now. So you do really want to ban away that Lissandra as well. So they're continuing that trend over and over and over. Now, this Yunbi pick could be Aurelia already. So it could be that Lissandra ban doesn't do a whole lot other than just remove that option from Yunbi's pool. But the fact that FlyQuest are just heavily targeting this one player shows us maybe FlyQuest are wanting to go directly to mid lane and play through this one the entire time, because Yunbi hasn't been a player that's shown us a really big variety of champions, I'd say, across the entire split, or let alone the year as well. Okay, we're going to talk about that later, though, because we just got a Vayne pick for FlyQuest.
What terrifies me is how quickly Johnson was willing to lock that one. I mean, it was instant here, Smacks. He knew what he wanted, and he locks it in instantly. That's actually a really interesting matchup, though. I personally think it's not too bad of one either. It is going to be able to open up a very early Wits End build here for Johnson versus the Ziggs if they're thinking that the Ziggs is going to be going into the bottom lane, as well as being able to deal with a lot that Trundle is going to be bringing to the table here. That was something I wanted to mention as well. This Gangplank coming in here does show us that Yunbi will in fact be piloting that Aurelia in the mid lane, and they will be flexing it and we still get Niles on his Gangplank even
Yeah.
after the second round of bans.
I think that this Vayne is a flex to top lane. I think that this is the matchup that Philip wants to counterpick the Gangplank against. I'm feeling like this might be the option for them. It, of course, could still be that he's going. The Vayne is going to Johnson. But
don't play with my heart
I
here,
feel
Smacks.
it in my bones right now.
Don't play with my heart here, Smacks.
We get another cool flex pick that we mentioned before. Trundle is going to be locked in for newbie now, as we do get the Kindred flexed over to the jungle. I was wrong about the top lane, but this is still a nice ranged matchup to play against Gangplank. So, I wasn't completely just 5-head explosion with my brains, but it is still a really cool Vayne pick.
I thought Graves was going mid, you thought Vayne was going top. It's okay. It's just League of flexing AD carries and where they're going to be going, apparently. As we do have Kindred picking up that AD carry role for the side of Golden Guardians Academy, as you mentioned. It is a couple of very interesting comps here. I do want to point out the Jace as well, coming in as that final pick here for FlyQuest Academy into Niles' Gangplank. If we're talking about lane matchups specifically, especially for Niles, who's been really dominating a lot of his early laning phases, Gangplank is noticed as a scaling pick, especially after the changes that have been coming into Grasp. And meanwhile, Jace has always been kind of an early laner himself, so if you're looking to put that pressure on the top lane again here for the side of FlyQuest Academy, there's no Pantheon to be able to mitigate a lot of the damage. Instead, it is going to be an early game bully in this Jace versus the late game carry potential of a Gangplank. This is going to be a huge Philip versus Niles matchup.
It feels like an easier champion to be diving upon for this Gangplank, but at the same time, you are diving against blue side top lane, which you have to deal with that giant chunk of terrain, which makes it a lot more difficult to actually manage for Niles in this lane, not to mention his comfortability on this pick. I mean, we just saw it a couple of days ago against TSM. Absolutely filthy stuff from Niles in that game. Did you see that play at the end of that game where his barrels dealt like 1,000 damage to 2 people at the same time?
Yeah, Cripplank?
Ridiculous. Yes.
Cripplank does
probably what
some
he's going to
dirty
build
things.
Here. Yeah.
I mean, he is
with the new changes. Yeah, with the new changes, you want to be building the crit, right? Your damage is increased even more with the late game on the barrels, and you get more of them. So to make up for the fact that your Q interacts with the Grasp Beyond Dying a little bit less, not only is he not taking Grasp, but you're gonna probably see a crit Gangplank build for late.
And I always love to see those crit Gangplank builds because it's exactly those wet dreams you have of being able to completely decimate the entirety of the backline of the opponent with a huge crit on the barrel, the 40% armor penetration, all of that coming into line. But that means that Niles does have to survive the early laning phase here first versus Philip, as they're already going toe to toe. Niles walks up and gets that passive down the burn onto Philip and ends up walking away with a corrupted push and coming out ahead in damage here. Already playing very aggressive on the top side of the map, as we saw the rest of the lanes just kind of starting off to very normal paces here.
Just the fact that Niles is already using the corrupting potions just for damage in this lane signifies that he is just playing this lane with reckless abandon. He wants to chunk out Philip's HP bar. Philip wisely is taking the Longsword 3 potion build alongside Biscuit, so there's a lot of sustain for both of these top laners, but Niles with the Corrupting Potion gets just a bit more damage when he goes for these trades, and I mean, the Gangplank parlay might not interact as favorably with Grasp of the Undying anymore, but it does still retain all of that damage that you know and love, or maybe you know and hate to play against in the top lane.
Burn damage has been the death of one too many top laners in the solo queue games that I've played. Darius shows up a little bit too frequently as well, but I digress. Taking a look at this bottom lane, though, I do want to take a look at how this matchup plays out, because we've been talking a lot about the top lane, we've been talking a lot about Niles and Philip. I'm personally an AD carry main. I love Vayne as a pick, and I think that this Vayne pick up here is actually going to be really big for the side of FlyQuest Academy. If you're not able to get a lead rolling on the top side of the map, like they were attempting in game 1 here, if they want to try and focus down on this bottom side, Dreams does have that full engage option for himself, and with Vayne getting an early lead, that is a late game insurance policy. We do have a game coming in the mid lane, though. Yunbi gets a stun. That's going to be the dash back from Triple. He's going into enemy lines to try and escape here. Is he going to be able to solid snake his way out, though? He needs to get access to his stash. He does not have the flash available. He might be looking for a place to teleport as well. Yunbi backing away. Looks like he's willing to give up the chase, and Triple, he walks off and is just going to be able to recall that teleport.
That's a pretty risky maneuver for Triple. If it goes wrong, then he just gives over first blood when he could have potentially escaped to the safety of his turret, but ends up working out for him. Gets to teleport after recalling and catch this entire wave, as the stun there from Yunbi was amazing, actually landing that through the dash from Triple. So much damage poured in that you have to find some way to get out with the distortion for LeBlanc. So we have a top dive attempt, a teleport here as well.
There's no teleport in mid lane either. Triple just used it. Niles is going to be going underneath
Wow.
the turret, but doesn't tank it. He gets first blood, though, and an amazing execution on that turret dive is going to mean that Niles on the late game gangplank secures himself first blood.
Nicely done for Golden Guardians Academy. Rosethorn setting up the play, and Yunbi even teleporting very selflessly of him, as we did see that that wave is really in favor of Triple now in that lane, but getting Niles ahead on this gangplank is the main win condition now. We saw just how good he is on this champion. We even saw against Evil Geniuses, they banned it all 3 of the games. They know just how strong of a champion and of a carry Niles can be when on it. Ruthless stuff that we're about to witness here for Golden Guardians, as he does pick up a Sheen and some armor just to help out in this lane.
We'll take a look at the scoreboard, though. You were saying that that wave is in a real bad spot there for Yunbi, already down 20 CS. He's going to be able to catch up on the wave, though, in order to put himself in a better position here. Philip is going to be ahead by a little bit, so not the end of the world. He's able to catch a lot of the minions himself and gets to crash this wave into the enemy turret as well, but it will mean that he's opening himself up to a regain potential. He still has flash available. He will notice Rosethorn trying to make his way towards that top side of the map and instead backs away here. Something else we got to keep in mind, though, here, Smacks, Rosethorn did have his markdown on Philip as well, and when you're playing this Kindred alongside the gangplank, that's a couple of really hard scaling champions, and they were already able to make a successful gank and dive happen without that 4-stack power spike coming in here for Roarstone.
Very true. Lots of early power in these auto-attacking champions. Yunbi making his way up there as well. But now FlyQuest have the opportunity to set up a play mid. Nice chains onto Yunbi. Another one.
Ooh. Not willing to commit, though. FlyQuest Academy backs away. NXI not feeling confident enough to go underneath turret there, despite the fact that Dreams was also there to provide potential CC. Great double chains coming in from Triple.
Going for that grand entrance for Dreams. Maybe he was out of mana, so we do see that mana bar has been all but depleted for himself, but the fact that he's got the exhaust and doesn't maybe have that mana to dive in under that turret saves Yunbi's life. As typically you end up seeing the ignite for Rakan, but Dreams wanting to make sure that he can stop the dive threat from Yunbi specifically, I would imagine, as Irelia diving onto that backline against Vayne is not something that you want, but really, at the same time, to dive a little bit deeper into this Vayne pick that you were mentioning, it's really solid against specifically Irelia, because Irelia, you have to click on your opponents to deal all your damage. You can stun them, you can hit them with your ultimate, but it's really that Blade Surge that is dealing all of the damage, especially with the itemization of things like the Blade of the Ring King. So if you're in stealth and you're just tumbling away from everything as Johnson, that's a really nice counter.
Ooh, NXI makes his way into the top side. Philip trying to get a return kill onto Niles, but the barrel doing so much damage. So is the cannon barrage. And despite there being 3 members of FlyQuest Academy on the top side of the map, Niles gets to walk away with his life.
What an outplay for Niles. He almost killed NXI in that exchange, and now Philip, you have to run away as well. You have no mana, you have no health. Niles doesn't even have to recall in this exchange. Crazy stuff from this. Why didn't you just ban it again? you
had 2 bad
punished for FlyQuest.
And because you have NXI on the top side of the map, that means Rosethorn is going to be able to pick up this dragon easy peasy lemon squeezy. It is free. NXI might be able to make his way down here. I don't think he's going to be able to contest it, though, as he is rushing towards this dragon pit. So is the rest of FlyQuest. Hold up a second here, Smacks. This could be doom and gloom for the side of Golden Guardians Academy. That's going to be the ultimate coming in by 6. The steal coming in from NXI will take it away from Rosethorn. It is not going to be able to secured by Prismal and the side of Golden Guardians.
Rosethorn just doesn't have enough damage at this stage of the game quite yet. He is a marksman, and typically those are the champions that you want to have when taking down these objectives, but just doesn't quite have it in the tank at this early stage. It's a Mountain Dragon as well, so one of the more resilient ones that you could be going for as we get this replay. He even tried to help him out burst it with the Ziggs ultimate, but no smite upgrade means that you have to wait until 450, and they have just so much burst on top of him that it's too little, too late, and FlyQuest get a nice steal.
He just dies before he can even get the smite out. Very unfortunate for the side of Golden Guardians Academy here, but that does mean good news here for FlyQuest if they're looking to bring themselves back into this series and going on to that Game 3. Remember, this is losers brackets here, which means that whichever one of these teams falls will not be continuing their run in the Proving Grounds tournament for summer 2021. To see some more chunks happening on the top side of the map, and this early lead for Niles is just putting in so much work here for Golden Guardians. Philip struggling to keep himself alive in this lane.
This is the counter pick for Philip, too. This is why FlyQuest went over to red sides, that Niles was less likely to do exactly this. Now, they did have another strategy, which was banning out Yoonbi specifically. That hasn't been working out too well either. Yes, Yoonbi is down a lot of minions in this matchup, but he got an early play up top lane. Really, no matter what champion he was playing, that likely would have still worked, and gets to help out the rest of his team on a more supportive version of this Irelia champion. Not something that I'd say most people are used to seeing, but Yoonbi knows his role in a composition like this. He knows that if Niles gets ahead, he will just put the team on his back. Everyone get in the Golden Guardians backpack. Niles is taking you along, and it happens to be the case for this early game yet again.
And it seems like another one of those situations where you put so much focus here in the mid lane for FlyQuest. Hold on a second, though, as Rosethorn's going back towards that top side. That's going to be a flash coming up by Philip, but it's going to be a guard here as he's going to be going down. Rosethorn being able to pick up that one, and Niles once again showing his top lane dominance.
And Philip uses his flash there, too, to no avail. Will still fall. There's nobody there to help him out. FlyQuest were trying to stack up bot, and they might still get a play off. There's a teleport to the bottom lane. Oh, no. It's a teleport top lane. Wow, so FlyQuest are playing really defensive. You saw there was maybe an inkling of a play that was going to happen for FlyQuest, but once they see that Philip is taken out, they know the triple can't afford to teleport to the bottom lane. He has to save all these minions. They can't give up all of these resources across the map for a play that might not have even worked to begin with. FlyQuest now on a pretty big back foot, and yet another kill going over to the top side for Golden Guardians.
And even with that teleport being used on the top side, Triple still loses a wave in the mid lane. Philip has to come back and crash the second one just to try and get something back for the side of FlyQuest Academy here, as it has been nothing but Golden Guardians so far. Surprisingly, the early gold lead, not any kind of lead for either one of these teams, despite the lead we've been seeing coming in from Golden Guardians. So game 2 here showing really close so far. I would like to see the jungler from the side of FlyQuest Academy try and create some pressure on the other side of the map away from this top lane, though. Philip has been really struggling with Rosethorn here once again. Trundle also rotating Newbie. They just want to shut down this Jace in the top lane.
And nobody's here for FlyQuest to respond to this. Philip just has to back away under potential threat. Flash forward from Dreams.
Ooh, they're trying to make something happen in the mid lane here from the side of FlyQuest, but the ultimate coming in here from Yoonbi will mean the disengage coming in from the side of FlyQuest Academy. Rift Herald dropped on the top side as well. This is going to be the first brick going over to the side of Golden Guardians Academy's max.
Even more golds for Niles and Rosethorn this early game, and FlyQuest are just not committing anything to try to help out Philip. He is completely isolated on this Jace. It's going to be another crash in this lane too. I believe that was a teleport. Newbie has to flash over.
Flash is coming out. LeBlanc goes over the wall, and that's going to be Triple that is able to find the kill. No, NXI picks it up, but finally we're seeing FlyQuest coming in with an aggressive invade in the enemy's bottom side of the jungle, while the top side is going down.
I didn't quite get to see where Yoonbi teleported to, but he did cast it. Didn't end up helping out Newbie survive in that play, as he's just trying to get some vision around this bottom side of the map, as FlyQuest have clearly tried to lay their claim in that area. They know that they won't get anything up top. That's clearly where Golden Guardians are staying. But FlyQuest, they get the kill onto Trundle. They get to pressure this Drake. And in the last game, the biggest scaling point for Golden Guardians was their Drake stack.
It was a fantastic early portion of the game here as we have more fighting going on. FlyQuest and Golden Guardians really going at it around this mid lane portion of the map. Dragon has spawned back onto the map, but a disengage coming in from Triple here, taking a good chunk out of UNB. I do want to focus back on the bottom side of the map, as you were mentioning, Smacks. The Dragon stacking coming in from Golden Guardians doing so much work here, but this time it is FlyQuest that really have the priority on this bottom side of the map. They're able to get that first Dragon with a great steal into Rosethorn. Now they're looking to pick up this second Drake with an amazing trade that Triple was able to pick up for himself in that mid lane. Second Drake of the game secured here, and it's going to be the win soul for this second game of our best of 3 series.
The first Drake was more unfortunate for Rosethorn than anything. He did get spotted out trying to sneak that one. He might have otherwise been able to, but was spotted by the vision plant from Johnson. This time, FlyQuest just have complete say of when they take this Drake and how. Golden Guardians were very clearly not wanting anything to do with this bottom side of the map. They're just trying to survive with this Ziggs and get as much gold and experience as they possibly can with these minion waves. But FlyQuest, they're trying to break out Johnson and Triple out of these lanes. They don't quite have any kills on these two members yet. And we mentioned the carry potential of a champion like this Vayne. It's really solid against these auto-attacking champions like the Aurelia and the Kindred. And for Johnson, he's going to have to survive to that stage of the game and put on the carry pants.
It's going to be difficult for him, though, here facing up against Niles as well, with those barrels available to chain through him, chunk him out before he even has access to the fight. But if there's going to be anyone that can do it in order to make sure that Niles goes down, it will be Johnson here, as we have another turret going down on the bottom side of the map this time for Golden Guardians Academy, using that Zig Satchel charge in order to pick up that standing turret gold. And they're trying to shove in a second wave here as well. A huge tempo play coming in from the side of Golden Guardians, as they see a lot of FlyQuest Academy on that top side of the map.
This has got to be another turret for Golden Guardians. There's no way that you can clear out this wave that easily, and there's going to be another satchel. So much gold gained from taking the inner turrets and the side lanes. That was 325 for both Prismal and Newbie right there. It's absolutely ridiculous amounts of gold. As Johnson does get a bunch of solo gold on this turret, he gets to take out all of these waves by himself. FlyQuest clearly know that the Vayne is going to be their main source of power in the late game, but trading another turret for Golden Guardians, and now have 3 of those in their back pocket. And Golden Guardians scaling is no slouch either. We've been highlighting this Gangplank so much for good reason, as it is Niles' biggest comfort pick. But FlyQuest, they want to avoid confrontation there at all costs. They're trying to trade things. Still have to favor Golden Guardians, though, in these.
Rift Arrow being the only objective on the map right now. We do see FlyQuest trying to pick that one up with the top side priority that they've picked, but instead they're going to reset here because they see that their mid lane is under pressure here. Or they actually were able to pick up that Rift Herald that was secured by the side of NXI. I didn't see it go down. Is going to mean that FlyQuest want to continue and try and find gold on the members of their team that they need to be getting ahead. Johnson, that big play here for the side of FlyQuest, as this game has been not so bloody as it is macro based. All that gold in the bottom lane, I think you were mentioning a second tier turret there, Smacks, going down, is the most valuable gold, or the most valuable turret to go down here. And with all that going over towards Rosethorn and Prismal, it is a massive pickup, but that's going to be the engage coming in from FlyQuest. Triple blows up Rosethorn before the Lambs Respite even has an opportunity to come out here. 1 kill for FlyQuest Academy as they finally find an aggressive play once again.
And while Golden Guardians are trying to move Prismal around the map like a baby in a stroller, getting him to his next treat, which are these turrets, they do get caught out by the engage from Dreams. A really nice snap engage that you have to do against a champion like Rosethorn is playing on this Kindred. Because as you said, the Lamb's Respite would have completely stopped that play in its tracks. It would have ended up in Golden Guardians finding a really nice stall out for a team fight engage potential, but it was FlyQuest with the quick fingers on their support. They got them another pick, and they also stopped the siege in mid lane, because if that team fight went the way of Golden Guardians, you have to imagine the Prismal has enough damage to burst out all these turrets again. Oh, this is cool.
Johnson going for the 1v1. Vayne doing so much damage. Gangplank not quite being able to do enough there. It's going to be 3 members of FlyQuest Academy that show up, but I don't even know if they're needed. Johnson putting up the DPS there.
It's a really cool play from Josh, just waiting in this bush, knowing that he has the Condemn to cause a disruptive flank onto Niles. And Niles has all the confidence in the world to keep pushing out these waves, gets punished right away, and another solo turret getting taken by Johnson. The difference this time is that the Rift Herald helps out, so NXI gets some of the gold as well, but Johnson, with that proximity, feeling pretty solid. Likely will have a full Wit's End completed off of this base, and I feel like he's got just all the gold on his team alongside NXI. These two marksmen for FlyQuest are going to have to put in a lot of work, and it's starting now.
Taking a look at the gold graphs that we have popping up. Thank you so much, observers. We see just where all that gold is lying, and it's just, as you were saying, Smacks, a lot of it going into the jungle and the bottom lane here for the side of FlyQuest. Meanwhile, Niles, the real big benefactor of all that gold. We do have a fight breaking out as Dreams is behind enemy lines, but 5 members of Golden Guardians Academy are collapsing upon this teleport that Philip just used. He was behind enemy lines, but FlyQuest Academy were not willing to come deep to save him. Instead, they're going to say, we're going to pick up this dragon real quick. It's going down extremely quickly. There, the spike comes in so close by Rosethorn, but it's not going to be quite enough. Aurelia trying to keep this one going. That's going to be triple going into the backline. He's going to be able to find anything for himself. The 1 kill for himself. He finds Rosethorn, but Yunbi has done the same, and he gets the execution onto triple, onto Dreams, and it is just Johnson left alive from the side of FlyQuest Academy. He gets knocked up. He is running for his life, but is it going to be enough? One more auto attack from Niles. He will be denied a turnaround kill as 3 members of FlyQuest Academy go down while they put themselves on soul point.
It was pretty close for Johnson to outplay that fight, but there's just too many members in the end for him to get away as FlyQuest, as you said, they get another dragon, so they're only 1 away from that soul. These team fights are so difficult to go for. All the AoE damage is coming to a head with Niles and Prismal just chunking everybody at the same time. And it was even really close for Rosethorn to stealing away the dragon as well. Hold on. Yunbi, you gotta run.
Yunbi, you gotta get out of there, brother. He's trying to fight this one. He's going forward. Now that he has the backup of Rosethorn, though, he's going to keep this one going. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Triple and Philip trying to make the same situation happen against Niles, and they will find a successful kill for themselves. Meanwhile, Dreams going down to the hands of Yunbi. A bit of a split fight coming in from FlyQuest. They win one on the bottom side, but they lose one on the top.
Gotta say, the kill onto Niles is a bit more valuable than Dreams. No offense to the Rakan, of course. But killing the main carry force for Golden Guardians is a really big deal, and this is the 2nd time in a row that FlyQuest have found him in that side lane. Really valuable shutdowns to be getting, and making sure that he can't keep farming up. It's a huge deal, as we do get to see this play happen again. Dreams trying to stall for Philip's teleport to arrive, but ends up just baiting Philip to his death. There's nothing that he can do other than just chunk Rosethorn a bit. To watch the rest of this one. Look how low this Drake actually gets before the smite comes through. 300 health. Rosethorn was really close.
That was a super close fight there, and the rest of this fight, we know how it goes. Golden Guardians, they're able to find so much, and while Triple's able to get into that back line, the Golden Guardians front line is just so strong here with that Trundle, with that Gangplank, able to do so much damage, and Aurelia surviving for so long in the backside of the fight. Johnson doing his best, but it's not quite there. He's just completed his Wit's End, so 2-item power spike coming in for the Vayne 80 carry. I'm hoping to see a Rage Blade build come in here, and that would be really the super power spike that you need to see for the itemization of this late game 80 carry on the side of FlyQuest Academy. As we take a look across the board, a lot of second items are being completed here. You have the completed Lord Dominic's Regard coming in for NXI, and then you have the Wit's End, and on the opposite side of the map, you have Niles, that 2-item power spike, Essence Reaver, and the Immortal Shield Bow coming in here, along with Prismal, completing his Leandri's Torment alongside that Seraph's Embrace.
Big spikes for the side of Golden Guardians. You have to worry about the AoE damage pouring in even heavier if you're on the side of FlyQuest. But we're talking about scaling. FlyQuest do have 3 Drakes now. And usually we're seeing that Cloud Drake's soul isn't as valuable as some others, but you look across the board, Rakan absolutely loves having Cloud Soul on his team. You have so much movement speed when you pop the quickness. It's impossible to get away. Sometimes you don't even need to use the Grand Entrance to get the charms off in the backline. So this is a valuable tool for FlyQuest to try to get, and a valuable way for them to move around where Golden Guardians are, because you really just don't want to give over that free huge buff if you are on the side of Golden Guardians. You do want to take that fight. So FlyQuest have that way to manipulate where Golden Guardians, their opponents, are going to be in about a minute's time.
With a minute until the next dragon spawns on the map, Baron also available for both teams as well, though neither one really has the setup for it just quite yet. Triple going forward, finds an amazing pick there onto Niles. Absolutely blows up the carry top laner from the side of Golden Guardians. This is a massive pick and should provide a lot of river priority coming in here for FlyQuest Academy as they're getting set up for this Dragon Soul. Rosethorn, though, he might be the next one to get picked here. Triple does land the chains. That's going to be the Kindred ultimate used. Lands Respite. Buying time for the side of Golden Guardians Academy, but it's the re-engaged by Dreams. He finds two. He blows up as there is not enough follow-up coming in by the side of FlyQuest Academy, and GGA is able to back away here 1-for-1 off what was a clean pick for Triple.
Again, it's the same members going down, though, Icarus. It's Niles going down on Golden Guardians, and it's Dreams going down on FlyQuest. But teleport in for Niles. It's going to be an outnumbered fight regardless for Golden Guardians. Triple found an amazing pick. He's going to have to do it again around this Drake if they want to take this one securely.
Dragon spawn onto the map here now. Dreams and Niles are back on the map. Teleport has been used. Triple dropping out extremely low. Teleport's back in order to stay away from Rosethorn, but now it is Johnson that has taken the brunt of this Kindred's damage. FlyQuest Academy has to back away. Nobody has fallen down just quite yet, but looks like they're going to give up this dragon and say, you know what? We already got 3 dragons. You can have this one. We'll just come back in another 5 minutes for the next one.
Can't do much about it if you're on the side of FlyQuest other than just give this one up. No health bars to work with, and Johnson even using the heal to escape the fight rather than use it advantageously, rather. My English is messing up right now. Apologies.
Yeah,
FlyQuest, they're scrounging. Oh yeah, I know. The FlyQuest are scrounging for more. I love that pick for Triple as he notices Niles doesn't have any magic resistance to speak of. But now it's going to be harder. Niles recognizes how fast he got blown up even through the Immortal Shield though and picks up a Null Magic Mantle. We'll see what that item is going to be eventually, but even just a little bit of magic resistance makes it pretty impossible for Triple to blow you up in just one rotation anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that built into the likes of the QSS or its Mercurial Scimitar upgrade there, going towards that crit build, providing some of that cleanse for the Rakan, quickness, engage potential, as well as being able to get away from the chains here in the hands of Niles. As both teams try to pressure around this Baron. Now that we're 25 minutes into this game, there has been a Rage Blade picked up for the side of Johnson. So a decent amount of DPS now available to this late game AD carry on the side of FlyQuest. If they want to try and sneak away some of these Barons, we have seen both of these teams in their previous games throughout Proving Grounds really get some quite cheeky Baron plays coming in, and where they're able to sneak it away from their opponents, especially Golden Guardians over the last weekend.
The biggest thing for FlyQuest, though, is they have to replicate what they saw against them in the previous game. You have to feel, because the team fights are not easy for these guys. They have some poke with Jason LeBlanc, but realistically, you're only dealing single target damage with things like that Vayne. And if you are doing that only, then you have to go for picks before the team fight actually breaks out, or you have to scatter it, just like we saw Newbie do on this Bard in the last game. And Golden Guardians, they know better than anyone how that is so devastating in a game like this, and they are going to have to try to make that impossible to do. They have a really good tool to do that with the Lamb's Respite. As long as you can stay in this one, it's impossible to be killed. Sort of this the name of the game for Kindred. But FlyQuest, they have some ways to get you out of that. You can condemn a person outside the range of the circle for Kindred, and they can golf swing you out with Philip as well for this Jace. And they're going to need to pull out some miracle plays. Again, oh, Niles, you're falling for it once more.
Johnson is always in the bush. If you thought it was a Garen that's waiting for you to face check, it instead is this Vayne that Johnson is piloting. Finds himself a first kill of the game
dead
here.
Too.
Ooh, Prismal going down on the bottom side of the map. Double kill. Hold on, what's going on here? Philip the Mad Lad gets shut down in lane, but is going to win the game for his team as he finds himself a double kill. That's going to secure the Baron here from side FlyQuest Academy. With 2 minutes on this Dragon, they should be able to have plenty of time to set up these waves, these lanes, and start getting themselves back into this game.
I have no idea what just happened to Prismal and Rosethorn, but Niles just fell for the same trick a third time in a row, Icarus. This is not going to be good. All right, let's see it. Prismal, he's just a lonely Ziggs trying to get into the river to save his top laner, and there's a chase.
That's some commitment from Prismal, yeah. Or not from Prismal, but from Philip, I should say. Prismal is the one that goes down. Rosethorn, yeah.
Wow.
That's
Philip
unlucky.
is just crazy strong all of a sudden with these 2 items. You cannot fight him at all. And very similarly, where we saw Niles get blown up by Triple because he doesn't have any magic resistance, Prismal doesn't have any armor. So Philip just one-shots you if he gets in that melee range. Prismal not fast enough with the satchel charge. Probably didn't even realize that he was getting hit up until the very end. He's probably looking top lane to see what was going on and try to see if he can throw his ultimate Mega Inferno Bomb. But regardless of all of that, FlyQuest now have their way with the Rift. They can start playing proactively. They can start taking down these structures. And for Johnson, he gets another solo turret for himself. That's another huge amount of gold.
Oh, Philip, if you were the one that blew somebody up before by surprise, now did you? He gets blown up. Johnson on the bottom side of the map, though. He's trying to get up to now, so he uses the ultimate. That's going to be the exhaust. You thought it was used for Aurelia, but instead Dreams with an excellent backup source there to get Johnson in underneath that inhibitor turret. They find 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but it's going to be the inhibitor turret pressure on the bottom side of the map by FlyQuest. And XI, he goes over the wall. Triple trying to find this kill onto Newbie, but has to back away to his last known location. He is going to be able to secure that bot lane inhibitor with the pressure that was created by Johnson and Dreams as well. So it's going to be the bot lane inhibitor 15 seconds before this Wind Drake is going to spawn onto the map, and a potential soul here for FlyQuest.
FlyQuest still have this Baron for another minute as well, so they have so much pressure around this objective all of a sudden. They kill Niles for a 5th time in this game. His damage can't come through if he's getting chased down by this Vayne. And there it is, that's the soul. Finally for FlyQuest, they pick this one up. So much movement speed now, as we can see Philip dashing to his heart's delight with this ultimate movement speed. It's actually really fun on Jace because you get to just cast this one so frequently with your ultimate being on like a 6-second cooldown. So very, very high amounts of uptime for that champion and for the LeBlanc as well.
I think Jace's ultimate already gives him like a burst of movement speed whenever he uses it, so it's kind of the quickness. Yeah, the quickness treatment on this one as well here for the side of FlyQuest. Everyone's going to be zooming with their ultimates. So we get ready to go back onto the Rift here. Just about a minute left on this Baron. Should be expiring fairly soon here, but they have already secured themselves so much. 2 turrets on the bottom side of the map, an inhibitor, the Wind Soul as well. Now with that Baron going down, they're setting up on the top side of the map. Rosethorn gets blown up here. Aurelia Ruby trying to go back in order to make this one an even fight. Dreams is getting blown up pretty hard, but the stun will not go through.
Look at Johnson!
Instead, it is Johnson who is going underneath the turret. He is going to be able to find himself a double kill, but now he is there without a team. Triple standing on this side will mean that he gets out alive here. Triple going forward is barely not going to be able to find Prisma with a double dash over the wall.
We wanted to see Johnson be the carry in this game, and that's exactly what he does on Vayne. Playing Assassin Vayne underneath this turret, gets a double kill and escapes so close, but he does make it out in the end. Oh my god, Triple going for another pick. It's so easy for FlyQuest, Icarus. It's so easy.
We said we needed to see not just Johnson, but Triple step it up this game as well into the pool that UNB has available for himself. And while he wasn't able to find himself too much of an early game lead, Triple is showing absolutely massive in this mid game, coming up with so many picks and is being able to pilot this LeBlanc so beautifully, constantly finding members out of position, especially Niles, who's been really struggling to keep himself alive this entire game.
He really has in the side lane. FlyQuest just prepared for him to push too far over and over and over again. Every single time that Niles goes past his vision and doesn't have his team around him, there's a Vayne or a LeBlanc waiting in the bush to catch him out. I mean, Rosethorn is going to find a similar fate, it feels like. Yep, there he goes.
Time and time again, Triple is just finding his way onto this top jungle duo from the Golden Gardens Academy roster, and they're getting picked off. It is a 5,000 gold lead now here for Smacks for the side of FlyQuest Academy. They have the Ocean Soul. Baron is coming up in a minute here, and you can only think to yourself that we have a Game 3 waiting to happen as Triple finds another.
Triple just goes and kills whatever health bar appears on his screen. It doesn't even matter if you're the tankiest member on the squad in this Trundle. He even has a full Negatron cloak. It doesn't even matter at all. It's ridiculous. So many stacks on this Medjay. He's got the Void Staff. He's got the extra burst from Ludens. This LeBlanc hurts and is so far ahead of everybody else. I don't even know what Golden Guardians can do. They just have to stall this out, stop dying, and maybe get an Elder Dragon steal at this point, because they really can't leave their base.
4.5 items completed on triple, 4 items and a stopwatch for Johnson here. We are one team fight away from this game ending, and there is so much in the back pockets here for the side of FlyQuest Academy, who have done such an amazing job rotating around this mid game and just finding pick after pick off the back of triple and Johnson with some amazing positioning throughout this mid stages of this game. We do see
soloing Baron.
I mean, it's something you can do when you're this far ahead. Triple is just playing the defender of not just the Baron pit, but the entire top quadrant of this bottom side jungle here. They cannot go in. You can't even farm your own wolves here without Triple coming over the wall and stealing those ones away, as FlyQuest Academy secure themselves the second Baron of this game.
This is a flank attempt for Golden Guardians. They have to try something. There is Cannon Barrage.
Philip getting chunked out pretty hard here, but he's able to back away for now. Mega Inferno Bomb comes out, but the stopwatch will buy enough time to keep him alive here. Yubi, though, is going to be able to pick that one up, though. Niles is getting ran down once again in the backside of this fight by Johnson, who uses the invisibility. He barely gets the auto attack out. Now the stopwatch brought out at the same time. Salam just fighting Lord by himself to the left side for his team to follow up. Dreams and NXI, they make it happen. We were looking for the team fight for FlyQuest, and we were looking for them to save Private Johnson, and they, in fact, do, with a triple wombo combo coming in from the support and jungler of FlyQuest, and this should mean we're going on to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen.
And I don't know if Johnson is the Private in this game. He feels like the General. He's just making all of these plays by himself. The flanks, the bush ganks, every single time that Johnson activates the final hour, you know that you are in danger if you're on Golden Guardians. And now they have to try to keep their series hopes alive in a game 3. Huge stuff from Fly.
When your lives are on the line here at Proving Grounds, game 3 is the place to make it here. Niles showed up huge in game 1, struggling a bit here in game 2 because Triple and Johnson and everyone from FlyQuest Academy are just showing up so big today here. They do not want to let their Proving Grounds dreams go to waste here today. They want to continue their run through here at the Proving Grounds 2021 Summer Split.
I love this turnaround from FlyQuest. On this red side, they had the Vayne pick into the strategies that we saw from Golden Guardians, and you just can't catch this champion out. It's so slippery with all the stealth tumbling in and out of range, and even when you're trying to gank it, it's going to deal so much damage to you. This gangplank that Niles is known for just couldn't shoot this Vayne because she's in stealth the entire time. We mentioned how tricky it was for Gangplank and for Rosethorn on this Kindred, and for Irelia, for Yunbi to hit this Vayne. It ended up being just so true and so tricky to lock down up until the very end. Great stuff from Johnson carrying his team to this victory.
Well, we didn't get to see the Vayne versus the Gangplank in the top lane, but it might as well have been that by the mid game here, Smacks. But we got a game 3 waiting for us on the other side of this break here. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in a few minutes. Do not go anywhere, because we have our final game of this best of 3 series to see who keeps their Proving Grounds dreams alive and who's going home here. We'll see you guys in a few minutes with FlyQuest Academy versus Golden Guardians Academy.